first of all, what is the resistance? Resistance, I'm going to give you an example which is really clear. Is like, imagine you have 4 people on a boat, and 2 are paddling on one direction, and it's a good direction, the direction of the flow of the water, and 2 others are paddling, sorry, on the other direction. So obviously, I mean, your boat is not going to go straight, it's going to go in circles. So it's like you're going nowhere. So it's exactly what a resistance is within yourself. So we have 2 kind of resistance. We have the external resistance and you have the inner resistance. The external resistance, generally, I mean, when you think like it's like when you think the world is against you, and whatever you do, you always find a stick inside your wheel and you can't move forward, and you just complain and say, what, the world is again against me and I can't move forward. And this is external resistance. But actually, the truth is that an external resistance is the exact reflection of an internal resistance. So it's really important to be honest with ourselves when there is a resistance, and realize that if a resistance manifests in the outside through a person or an event, it's probably that you have an inner resistance. So we have many kind of inner resistance. We have some thoughts, some words, and some action who oppose your desire or your highest good. So most of the time, of course, it's subconscious, like 90% of the time, unless you're a bit advanced on the spiritual path and you are a bit more aware when your subconscious is taking over your conscious. So, for example, a think when you think like, I'm abundant, but if you have an opposite thought, such as people can't afford, obviously you're not going to succeed to sell your products. It's not going to work because this is opposite thoughts. So your soul is spread and the universe don't know which one to follow. So it's not going to work. And also there is some kind of action that someone say, oh, tonight I'm going out with friends and I'm not going to drink. And you end up totally drunk with your friends, and you've been kind of oppositing your thought, your action to what you really wanted to do. Or you have also some kind of inauthentic speech, sorry, like, for example, you say someone, oh, I really like you, and actually you don't. So this is also a resistant and opposite thinking. So it's all these are resistance. And as I said, it's not always conscious. It's sometimes you don't realize it. This creates actually a kind of fragmentation. I don't know if you realize, because maybe you think you are alone in your body, but this is actually wrong. You have thousands of people in your mind. This is the reality. You have one body, but many consciousness, many personality. And if personality has its own identity, its own perspective, its own appearance and strengths, and also some weakness. So all this person inside your head are a part of yourself. It's like you have thousands of personality within you. This is the reality, and you need to be aware of this. You need to make sure also that all these personality are going together in the same direction. So what's happening when one part of yourself want to go somewhere and another part of yourself want to go to another direction? It's like the people in the boat. You're going in circle and you're going exactly nowhere. So it's like, also generally it also creates some pains because you feel split inside yourself, and it's a really not comfortable feeling. So you're not going anywhere, but you're suffering. And this suffering comes from yourself inside. And there is some solution for that, because there is always solution. So first of all, the first thing to do when you realize you have a resistance, I would say, don't push. Stop. Don't fight or don't resist a resistance, because this will just add more pressure and you're going to go nowhere, and you will lose your energy, and also you will suffer. And at the end, I mean, it may be a disaster because you may lose confidence as well. It's exactly like, let's say you're in the boat You want to go to that place, and you're trying to pedaling, you add more people, you add some new veil, and you think, oh, it's going to be okay, and you push and you push and you push, but actually you just forgot the anchor, so you can't go anywhere anyway. Or even worse, actually, what most of us are doing is like, you are driving your car, and another part of yourself as this scarf is stuck under the wheel, and you just say, no, I don't care, I want to go there, but the person is saying, I don't want to go because I'm going to die, look, my scarf is under the wheel. But actually what you're doing, you're just crushing yourself, and you just kill a part of yourself because you absolutely want to go there, but it's not going to work, obviously. So an example of a kind of dysfunctioning that we all experience, you decided that you want to go, you want to be abundant, and this year you have this goal, and you are going to have, I don't know, 1,000 of customer, and you are going to earn this amount of money. But I mean, you don't achieve your dream, and you just fight and fight and fight, and you try to go, but it's not working. So generally what some people do, they say, oh, I'm so, like inside you feel, I'm so angry, I don't succeed, I really want to do that, and I'm working hard and it's failing. And oh no, I'm a spiritual person, and I do a lot of personal development, and I do yoga, I should not think this is not good. So okay, I'm going to do an affirmation. Okay, I'm totally in abundance right now, and I'm going to wait that the universe is going to manifest to me the abundance because I deserve it. And then after you think, oh, but I'm still angry. Okay, let's do yoga. And you do yoga. But at the end, it's not solving your problem because it's not going to work neither. And saying an affirmation is also a way to sometimes escape from maybe a fears, or lie to yourself, or deny a resistance. So please stop doing this. This is extremely violent. It's not going to work. It's a result of what's happening in the world, actually. It's like pouring some petrol in your own soul, or cutting the tree inside your heart. So if everybody is conscious that first, when there is a resistance, we need to breathe, stop, don't act, and try to find this resistance, deal with it, solve, find a solution, reunite all yourself, and move together in the same direction. So you feel perfectly aligned, and you can take the good decision, which is the best for your higher self. So how to do it? I have a couple of exercise. It's working very, very well when you feel a resistance, or when you feel something is not properly floating. It may have a resistance somewhere. So stop, try to breathe, say to yourself, okay, I'm going to be really honest with myself. Whatever will happen, I will accept. Then you start to take all the people inside your head outside, which means you do a table, like a meeting with yourself, with your mini self in your head, and you try to listen to each person, so each identity. So one is going to say, for example, oh yes, I want to be abundant, but actually the people can't even afford, or they are not good enough to follow with this project. And also another part say, no, you say something stupid. I mean, of course, like, you're good, you're going to attract, and you know the attraction law, so you're going to have this customer. And other people is saying, I'm not very good at communicating, and I don't know if I can succeed. And another one is saying, oh no, you're so good, you know how to talk and how to behave when you do this action in front of the people. So let's try to listen. Everybody in your head has something to say, and just try to take a notebook and write down. And you take one after another, you write down, you write down, you write down. And when you find out that one part of yourself is not wanting to go there, you absolutely try to listen to this part of yourself, and you try to say, okay, what is your fears, what is your need, and try to dig, 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 dig until you find out which is the need of this part of yourself that is a need, obviously. So write it down and try to first, okay, to say like to yourself, thank you, I recognize you, I validate you, you exist, and thank you, I see you, you're here. What do you want to tell me? Okay, you have this fear and you have this resistance. Write it down. Whatever it's right or not, you just write it down because you need first to validate you exist. So then this thought, this part of yourself knows that she's existing, so she can be more quiet because she feels protected. Then this part is going to discuss with all others, and you are going to find an agreement which is the best for yourself. And once you found this agreement and everybody can go together in the same direction, you reunite yourself again. So you're perfectly aligned, and then you can move forward because this part of yourself feel released. And maybe the need was to feel reassured, protected, because maybe you have a memory in your childhood, or I don't know, even a family memory who is so old that you haven't forgot it. So there is a reason for everything. So everything that you feel has a reason to exist, because maybe this is something that protected you in your life, but now you don't need to have this thought anymore. So you need to reassure this part of yourself, give yourself the need you have, and then you can move forward, and then you're going really, really successful. Because if you walk with all yourself inside reunited and aligned with alignment, you will succeed everything, because the universe work in a way that you don't need to work hard to get what you want, because universe give you absolutely all what you want. If you don't have what you want right now, that means that a part of yourself don't want it. A typical example, for example, like a woman want to have a baby, and she tell you, I want so much to have a child, this is my dream, I want to have a family, but I don't know why I don't succeed. And I checked the medical thing is perfectly okay, my partner is okay, but I don't have a baby, and I feel so sad. And this person try and try and try again and keep failing. But actually, maybe this person is not seeing that a part of herself, maybe in the past, has been maybe abused on some ways. There is even psychological abuse. And this part say, no way, I don't want it, because I've been suffering. I don't want anybody to just go inside. You know, like every part of yourself to tell you, like every part of yourself has a consciousness. Every cell inside you has a consciousness. So even though you think you have only this consciousness, actually, well, in Asia, we say this consciousness. We do this movement because this is in the heart. Like how I forgot what I wanted to say. Like, yeah, but every cell has a consciousness. Every cell has its own existence. So, for example, you may have your consciousness here, but your cells may be, like in the example of this woman, is inside her belly. And this cells has a consciousness as well and has a right to exist. So when you understand that you are working this way, that every cell has a memory, every cell has a consciousness, you can really be aware of all your resistance. And you can be aware when your subconscious is taking over you're conscious. And this is the best way to be successful in everything, is being aware. So for example, imagine you playing many games in life, like you are kind of acting because you are already many people in your head. So you are playing a game, and let's say you play this game and you play this opposite game, because there is always opposition in life. If you act away, they will always have the opposite force somewhere around you. And you need always to think that you have a third consciousness who is always outside. Always you have a consciousness who is watching and observing you in whatever you're doing. So let's say you're calling some people and talking about INBS. And I mean, you need to be aware all the time that there is this little consciousness who is observing you. And if you know that this part of yourself is observing you, if there is another part of yourself who has a resistance or have an opposite thought of what you are just saying, then at least you know it, so you can change it, arrange and reorganize and master everything in what you are doing, thinking, and in what you are saying as well. So I think I said pretty much the most important things. So you need to know what a resistance is. You need to realize external resistance is a manifestation of an inner resistance. You need to be aware of the fragmentation within yourself. When there is a resistance to occur, stop. Don't act on a place of resistance. Deal with your resistance and reunite yourself, realign yourself, and then go together in the best direction for yourself. So be aware, and be aware. And also, never, never, never resist the truth. Because if you resist your own truth, you're kind of losing confidence in yourself. So if you resist your own truth, you also resist awareness itself. So even though there is some part of ourselves that we don't always like, you need to accept this part, because otherwise you are resisting truth. So please be aware, don't resist truth, be courageous, always be honest with yourself, and you will get everything you want in this universe.